Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. So on today's technique video, we're going to be using the Hello Lovely stamp set and then the Say Hello stamp set with the die. Okay. And I was just showing you there, I had a broken nail, so if you see that, you know, sometimes you just don't have time to get to the place before you have to turn in a video the next day. So we're just going to keep working through. So I got the Misty out and I'm grabbing the big stamp, my favorite stamp of the stamp set. And I decided that on a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of white paper, I'm going to heat emboss this stamp set. So I'm using the Misty so that I can make sure that I get a nice even distribution of the Versamark ink, the clear sticky ink. And since it's on the Misty, I can stamp it twice to make sure that everything was hit. Okay, so once we do that last little pass there, and I'm just going to ink it up. Oh, the first thing I did was the embossing powder, the static powder, to make sure nothing sticks anywhere I don't want it to. So we're going to ink it up now. I'm grabbing my cloth so that way I can press down and get good even pressure. And then we're going to ink it up again, the stamp set one more time, and then press it down. Alright, I'm just going to rub here. And like I said, with the cloth, it just makes it feel like you can get more even pressure, especially when you're sitting down and you're not standing up and pressing down from that way. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a piece of scratch piece of paper and I'm going to go ahead and spread the Enchanted Gold embossing powder from Nuvo. And I'm just making sure I hit all the spots, and anywhere where it looks like it's cleaning where I don't want it, I'm just going to tap it on the back side to get rid of the extra powder. Alright. And then once I get it, make sure everything is covered the way, you know, it's supposed to be. I'm going to set that to the side and clear up the embossing powder. And then once I get the heat tool going, I'm going to go ahead and melt all the embossing powder. And I hold it, which is really the best way, especially with some of the embossing powders. You gotta hold it kind of at an angle so that way you can see that it's going from like the dull look almost to the, you know, to really bright and shiny. And it's easier to see that, especially if you're doing videos, while it's on that angle. Okay, so once we get this all heated up, should be coming to the end. To avoid too much warping, you can always kind of hit it from the back, and then that would help, you know, make the paper even again. Okay, so moving on to the sentiment, we're going to be using these metal dies with the hello. One is like a bubbled hello, and the other is a thin piece that we're going to put on top of the bubble. So I grab my snips and I'm just going to cut these two dies apart from each other. And if there's any bits that are hanging over the edge, like, you probably can't see it, but those little tiny pieces, I do try and cut those off so that way, you know, I don't have to worry about anyone cutting themselves. And we're going to be using some vellum, which is that piece right there. And then I also got the assorted vinyl paperwork from La La Land. Is it La La Land Crafts? Something like that. And we're going to cut that. There we go. There it is. La La Land Crafts. And it's the adhesive vinyl. And that's probably one of the main reasons why I got this pack, is because you get a variety, but it's already adhesive back, so it just makes it very easy. Now, if you don't have already adhesive back sheets, you can get like your stick it paper and put it on the back of you know, whatever cardstock you want to use and cut out going that route. Okay, so we're going to get the Cuttlebug up. It always works best for me as far as dealing with the camera and trying not to hit the baseboard, the A, B, and C plates like into the camera while I was recording this. So I'm just making the first sandwich. It's kind of closer to me. It's in the part of the screen that you can't see, but I just did it this way so that you could see it kind of roll through. The first time I put the word hello through there on the vellum, there were parts of the bubble section that didn't come out. So I gave up and I decided to do one more run through of the bubble hello, but this time I grabbed the wax paper and I run it through, and we finally get what we were looking for. So I'm just getting it settled right there, and then we're getting ready to roll it through the Cuttlebug again. And what I like to do is, once I went through the first time, I did run it a second time just to make sure that it really did, you know, go through. Because I did find that on the vinyl sheets that I've used already, some of the dies, it takes quite a few passes or like a little piece of paper to work like a shim. For this particular one, using the wax paper to allow it to cut out very easily helped a lot. So you can see here I ran it through twice, and then I'm going to put everything to the side, and I'm going to start pulling everything apart so you guys can see how this is going to work out. So the wax paper, it actually does a very thin outline and the inside bubble shape of the word hello, and there was just a few spots that I had to kind of cut with scissors to get it out, only because I still wanted to use possibly that outline piece. So we'll see where we go with that. That might just go into my little sentiment and storage items. So once we get it separated and I got all the pieces out of it, as far as the smaller die cuts that are in the hello, we're going to attach the thin, more cursive written hello that's in the black vinyl. Alright, so there's that outline hello. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. And then there's our bubble hello, waiting for the thin hello to go on top. And that'll allow me to be able to attach this hello to the card without being able to see it through, you know, because it's vellum. Okay, so once we get the little bits, you know, from the L and the circle, once we get those out, then I'm going to take the backing off and attach this to the vellum, which won't take long. It won't. Like at first I almost put it down wrong, but I just stopped, pulled it back up because I hadn't pressed it all the way down, and I readjusted it just ever so lightly, but it was enough to make sure that, you know, everything was in the center. And you're gonna see that right in here, see how low it is, and it's not really looping around that little opening on the H there. So I'm just gonna pick it up a little, and like I said, just moving it up slightly, and then everything seems to fall into place. It's like once you set that first letter, you know, everything, the E, the L's, and the O just land right where you want it to, very evenly on the bubbled hello. Alright, now, so we're gonna push everything to the side so we can get ready to make the card. And I'm just grabbing At first I had this thin strip that I wanted to put I wasn't sure if I was going to do hello friend or if I was going to do hello sunshine. So the first word I'm going to lay down is the hello friend. Just bear with me, I'm trying to get it pulled off of the stamp set here because I wasn't exactly sure, like I said, which way I wanted to take the card. And at this point I'm like, okay, I actually like the friend, let's go with the friend. And then I grabbed sunshine and I'm like, well, sunshine's a little bit longer, so you know what, I'll do hello sunshine. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll treat my black strip. Once I get this attached to my block, I'm going to treat the cardstock with the anti-static. And that's after I get this in place. Okay, so all we're going to do is ink up the sunshine with the Versamark. And then we'll pour over top of it the Nouveau white, I want to say it's Glacier white embossing powder. Everything's looking good. I'm like, okay, this is turning out like it's gonna work for me. Well, once I did the embossing powder on it, I noticed there was a little bit of a marking on my paper. And you'll see I'm trying to like grab a knife or something where I could like scrape it off, because I don't know what it was on there that it connected to, but yeah, it wasn't good. So I cut a new piece that was a 1/2 inch and I stamped the sunshine with the Versamark and the white powder, and once it cooled down I just used my rag to kind of get off the extra powder. And now we're going to start assembling. So I have the sunshine on the black strip, and when I set it up like this one, I realized, you know what, I want to banner the ends. So I'm just doing a center cut, and then from each of the corners we're going to make a V that we're going to cut out the sides here. Alright, and then to put this on the card front, I am going to put some dimensional foam pieces underneath the sunshine, and then on the back of the hello I'm going to use the Ranger multimedia mat, and I'm just going to fold over my card, which was 4 1/4 by 11. And that will give us our A2 size card with it lifting up from the top. And to get this attached to the card, I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG gun. And then just make sure I have a nice border on all 4 sides. And on one of the corners it's lifting up a little bit, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of the art glitter glue and pour that inside so that way it'll lay down correctly. And then once we have it all done up, we're going to go ahead and attach our other pieces. So at first I was going to do the sunshine, and then I remembered, you know what, you got to put the hello down first and then the sunshine, because it's the sunshine part is going to be on the foam squares. Alright, so we're going to, like I said, turn it over. I'm grabbing the multimedia mat, and I'm just going to go along the outline of the black vinyl hello that we put on there. Alright, so once we get done putting all of the glue down on the back, we're going to go ahead and lay it down. And this hello actually is a little bit longer than the A2 size card, but I'm going to trim it down once I get everything in place. because it's just the swirls or the ends in the beginning of each of the letters that's hanging off on the side, so we're going to get rid of that. So I'm going to put down my sunshine, and then you'll see at one of these moments I'm going to flip it up so that way it's upside down, and I'm just going to use the scissors, the Tim Holtz scissors right here, and trim it off on each side. And then because of that piece sticking up on the sides, I'm going to grab the multimedia mat and just put a little bit of glue underneath those two pieces where we trimmed it down. And let's see here. So we get a nice, very simple and elegant card. Just a card to let someone know that you're thinking of them with the Hello Sunshine. And then here is some close-ups of the project. The vellum bubble in the background is just, it's subtle, but it's just very nice and an added bonus to the sentiments that Concord and Ninth carries, because they do a lot of this. I think right now they have one out that does hugs and lucky. I wish I had gotten the thanks like that, but I like this hello, and I'm sure they have, you know, a lot more. I will have links to the .com for the Concord and Ninth stamps. At the end, we will also have links to our previous Scrapbooking with Me boutique Technique Tuesday videos. So make sure you click on those, and if you haven't subscribed, just click on my picture and you'll get alerts on all of our new videos that pop up. Thanks you guys, and have a great day.